Welcome back to Raw, the podcast. I'm your host, Alison, founder of TheCheekyClean, a wellness brand empowering conscious consuming. And I'm so honored today to be in studio with Natalie Herbick. Natalie is the host of New Day Cleveland, a Fox 8 News anchor and early detection cancer activist. She's also hosting and emceeing the Thrive Conference dedicated to women's health on July 11th alongside Root Cause Integrative Health. We're so excited, Natalie, to have you on the show. Welcome to Raw.
I'm so excited to be here. Your space is beautiful. You are beautiful.
Oh
and
gosh,
I love everything
you.
that you stand for. So it was a pleasure to be asked to be part of this.
Such a pleasure to have you. You are such a busy woman and always on the air and in your own studio. So to have you on the weekend, step out and come all the way here is seriously such an honor.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. It's truly my pleasure.
Yes.
I'm very excited to be part of this.
Thank you. I have to say, I went on New Day Cleveland. When was that? Like a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been a few months.
It's been a few months. And like before I went on, I had heard from a few people. They're like, Natalie is just like the nicest person ever. She's so genuine. And I'm like, oh, cool. I can't wait to meet her. But in person, like, you really blew me away. And you have so many people that come through that show and you do it every single day. And your genuine attention and engagement with every one of us.
Oh my gosh.
It's so truly authentic. And that's so rare and cool. And so I'm like, wow, like, you really are such a beautiful human. And so obviously, thank you for the work that you do in Cleveland, propping up all of these businesses and hardworking people, but more so just being the soul that you are to
that's
help
the
us
sweetest
all
compliment.
connect. No,
Thank
it's really
you.
cool.
I love what I do, and I love being part of a community where you get to, first of all, it's live TV, and I know people are nervous. And so to be able to just calm people's nerves and to help support them means the world to me. I always wanted to do a job where felt like I was helping people.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I thought that was being a doctor. Yeah. And then I realized we're not going through that schooling and I can't stand blood. Yes. So this is my efforts to help the community, and it means so much to me to do that.
It's so genuine. It's obvious that this is more than just like a 9-to-5 clock-in job for you. Like, you really are moving with heart and purpose, and it's like purely authentic and flow. So just love it. Love everything you're doing. And I just hope you know that it's like going such a longer way than just, a news interview. Like,
that
it really like touches
to
all of us just being in your presence.
Gosh, that is the sweetest thing. Thank you. It means the world to me to do what I do. I love what I do. I feel very blessed to not only be in the city doing this, but also just to connect with the wonderful people that I have. I mean, I pinch myself still to this day that I get the job, get to do the job that I have.
Connection really is one of the most powerful things and forces in this life experience that we have. It's a big reason why I started the podcast and my own little community. I feel like alone we can grow and heal, but together we're such a force.
Yes.
And so I'm so passionate about just aligning with like minds. And so in that time, and it's not just like when I was on air, it's like the few minutes you had in between, like you really wanted to get to know me and my brand. And we were chatting about our experiences. And I had mentioned to you that a reason why I was so passionate about creating a product in the wellness space and sharing education around it is because of my own experience with my parents having gotten sick and passed away, and cancer that was in my world. And you had shared with me that you had also not only lost a parent to cancer but also had went through your own journey. And I was just so struck by that, and always feel like, and that's what I love about the show and getting to interview people, is there's always an incredible story behind what you see on the outside, and those who are moving from purpose like yourself.
The why.
And I'm like, I know you're busy, but I would love to have you in and talk more about what that why is and all that you're doing to, continue to grow and heal yourself and those around you.
I would love to talk about it because it's definitely a journey, and I find it so beautiful that it's like an unfortunate beauty in it that you have to sometimes go through difficult things in order to become what you're destined to become.
Yeah.
And you always wonder. I always thought I had my own purpose. I thought, okay, being part of this show and this community and helping businesses is it. This is what God wanted me to do. And I still believe that. But when I was diagnosed, especially, I realized, okay, no, this is it. It's so much more than that because I get to now, since I have a platform to utilize, I get to help others in a way that I didn't even realize I could before. And
it's so much
and the
deeper.
station is so passionate. They're so sweet in letting me do that.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
They've always supported me through that. And so for me to be able to talk about it on air, to go to events and support others, and through social media. I mean, I have so many women, especially, that will message me now and ask me my thoughts on what they're going through, just to have that little support from someone else who's been there, done it. That's just such, again, I'll probably use the word blessing a lot through this, but it's a blessing to me. But I had to get through the difficult times to be able to see how good it could be.
Yes, absolutely. It's that awakening that often comes through suffering, truly. So I want to get into all that, but I want to step back for a minute and talk a little bit about how you got here. So you're from Pittsburgh, right?
Yes. And I always, 13 years I've been here now, and I finally feel like it's okay for me to say Pittsburgh without going, Pittsburgh.
Yes, no, exactly. Like now you've been here long enough that you're also a Clevelander.
Yes, yes. So I got into the business. I grew up, born and raised in Pittsburgh, went to the University of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I took my first job in the business in the Steubenville, Ohio, Wheeling, West Virginia market.
Got it.
And even when I was there, I still lived in Pittsburgh, it was a 45-minute drive. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until I got the job in Cleveland that I moved away from home.
Yeah.
And it was a dream come true. It was one of those, there's no way this job exists when I found out about this. And the fact that I got the job still is mind-boggling to me. So
meant to be.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts when you first got to Cleveland as compared to Pittsburgh? They're kind of similar cities.
They are.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, especially because I moved here not knowing anybody.
Yeah.
And it was wild because my sister lives an hour, 45 minutes away from me.
Right.
It's not that far of a drive, but I didn't really know much about Cleveland. And so I moved here not knowing anything about it, not knowing a single soul that lives here. And I was nervous because it was, again, my first time away from home. And I don't know, I'm more of a homebody. I was 29. It was scary for me to think about leaving. And once I got here, automatically, it just felt like home.
Yeah.
You're right in saying there's such similar towns. The people are just loyal humans, hardworking humans, genuine people. So it felt right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm in a business that sometimes you want to continue to climb the ladder. Cleveland's market 19 right now. We used to be market 7, 8, I think, back in the day. So we've dropped in market size, but it's a big market. It's considered a large market. It's top 20. But there's always that incentive when you're younger to think, okay, do I want to get to a top 5 market? Do I want to go network level? And so in the very beginning, I thought that's what maybe was going to happen, or that would be my aspiration. And then I went through one contract here and I said, nah, I like it here. I don't want to go anywhere else.
That's awesome. So what do you think attributed to that mindset shift? Was it more of just feeling this comfort level here and feeling like, okay, I can actually make a difference here, and maybe it's a smaller market, but I can be so highly engaged with it? Or did something shift in you where you were kind of like, maybe your nervous system wasn't as keen to be in that like hustle mentality so much anymore, and you wanted to settle down a little bit? Like, what was that?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest. The job that I do with New Day Cleveland is unlike any job in local TV news that you'll find. There are other shows that are similar to New Day in other markets, but not to the level and degree that we do things.
Yeah.
And I just felt like this is my place. I enjoy it so much. And the news business isn't a business where you're going to go and make a ton of money.
Yeah.
But it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, when I realized then, and I think I always knew I had a passion for it even at my first station, because when you start a small market, you really make nothing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about the money to me. It was about waking up and realizing I just thoroughly enjoy and I'm happy. It's my happy place.
Yes, I love that.
And I feel like to be able to say work is a happy place for you is rare. You don't hear that often. So that's why I always encourage people, just do what you love
It's a
because it
labor of
doesn't matter.
love, as I said when we started about the podcast as well. And I firmly believe when you're moving from that aligned energy and doing what you love, that abundance comes. And it might not be in like the traditional way, right? But it's opening up this opportunity for you to like connect deeper with people. And now you have this like platform in Cleveland where you can support these organizations that are so powerful and meaningful to you. And it's this like ripple effect that happens when you're in true alignment versus trying to like force
Absolutely.
this success that quote unquote whatever society has said it is on the outside. And so it's like, trust that feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so
Our
cool.
guts are always, we're intuitive. Humans are intuitive.
We are.
You have to, and I need to take, my own advice sometimes, but trust your gut is always right, and you just have to listen to it. I think we use when we're thinking about things and our brains just will maybe send us in another direction, but it always goes back to that gut.
That
feeling.
gut and that heart that are so connected. I actually posted on my mirror in my bathroom that says out of the head into the heart, because it's so
Love
easy
it.
to get like
to
caught
get in your
head. And that's like logical mind doesn't always serve us. It has
Very
its
true.
place and its purpose, but that's so beautiful. I love it. And you really are, having this cool opportunity. I think when you think about news in general, right? There's, I'm sure, other roles that could be a little more stuffy. And you have this cool ability to kind of make it what your own. And I will tell you, like, your community that watches New Day is powerful. Like, that is a force.
They're my people. I know. I love it. I am always blown away. And I am so grateful anytime someone will walk up and see me outside of work and just say, I DVR every show. I listen back because I can't be there to watch it live. And the comments that people, I've gone through a health scare or I had surgery and I was home and I was able to watch, and you just made me, helped me to get through this difficult period of my life. There's countless reasons that people will give, and I never take it for granted.
Yes. Well, you're a testament to that community. And I think it's your heart and passion that you put into it, and you're genuine. When I came on, it was very much like you wanted to know the why behind it so that you could share it with the audience.
Yes.
And we could all learn and grow from that experience, which is just so cool. How do you feel that you've kind of continued to build that connection with the community over time? Are you doing a lot of these like other events similar to Thrive outside of just being in the studio to connect deeper than just, someone that they see on TV?
Yes. I get made fun of in the newsroom a lot because they're always like, Natalie, when are you going to say no? Because I say yes to every event someone asks me to do, unless I physically can't be there because I have a prior commitment or I'm away out of the area. Because everyone's cause is near and dear to their heart. It means so much to them. And so how can I judge and say, well, I should set a precedence for this one and not for that one? And what it has enabled me to do is meet so many different groups of people. I firmly believe in being on camera and, having our show is one thing, but getting out and getting to hug people, getting to I'm such a hugger, getting to shake hands, getting to hear stories. That is when you really connect with people. And we've done these amazing group trips with New Day Cleveland where our viewers will spend their hard-earned money to come on these trips with us. And those have been amazing. I mean, I've had viewers who, and I always give them shout outs because it still boggles my mind. So when my mom passed away 7 years ago, there were viewers that had been coming with us on group trips that drove to Pittsburgh to be there for my mother's funeral.
Oh my gosh.
Because that is how much of it's so instant beautiful. Bonds, because it really does feel like a family to me.
Yes, that's so beautiful. And it's like I said, it's a testament to the way that you move so genuinely. Anyone I think can like show up and check the box, but it's that like commitment that you have to really wanting to build the relationships and not just doing it superficially. Like it's very authentic. So it's very cool. So your mom passed away 7 years ago from breast cancer?
She actually had ovarian cancer. Which we had no cancer in our family before then. And when she was diagnosed, it was harder than when I was diagnosed.
And you were diagnosed prior?
I was actually I was diagnosed 3 years ago. She was diagnosed, that would have been probably 9 years ago.
Okay.
And she went through almost 3 years before 2.5, before she passed away. So,
Wow.
but she and I'm sorry, I don't want to take up but I can, her going through what she went through gave me the strength to realize, okay, I'm going to do this. I can
Yeah.
fight this. I can
Yeah.
beat this.
Yeah.
I caught mine very early and
Yeah.
because of her.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about both of your experiences because my mom also went through cancer and passed away. I always say I think it was more of the treatment. Like she beat breast cancer physically.
Yes.
But the chemotherapy completely ruined her mind.
Radiation is what killed my mother. So it's never, it's never the cancer that
Yes.
technically kills you.
Right.
It's the treatment and whatever else you have to do to, I think, get through it that causes more problems.
Causes more problems. And I think that we're not, and the traditional medical system, I'm so grateful now for resources like root cause.
Yes.
Because now we have more options. Like when my mom was diagnosed and my dad was diagnosed, like there really weren't functional medicine doctors that were readily available. And so it was really just like what the mainstream traditional conventional approach says is Bible.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of value in that traditional medical system.
Absolutely.
And so much science. But there's also now, as we've grown and learned how things come to be, opportunity in more of a root cause approach and treating things from a holistic standpoint as well in conjunction.
Well, and I think if we jump and tap into that sooner, it's less of us having to go the Western traditional medicine route because it's more of a preventative.
Yes.
Now, it also helped people who have been diagnosed with things for sure.
Yeah.
But that is what my mom going through everything is what enabled me, really pushed me to start doing more research and understanding more.
Yes.
Because with her, we just had the traditional route. And again, I don't think she would change anything that she went through, but it would have been nice to be able to understand some other supplemental things that would have possibly helped her.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder, like, if the traditional treatment would have been so hard on the body had she had this opportunity to be living cleaner and stronger and supplementing and really be prepared for what the body goes through during treatment.
Agreed.
So no cancer in your family,
No.
and your mom was the first. Same with my mom as well, which is just so crazy, and I think shows the world that we live in now.
Absolutely.
We are so exposed to toxins from everything from our food, water, environments, phones, lifestyle, that it's becoming more and more and more common and less about the genes. It's actually a stat that 93% of disease is not genetic.
And I'm so glad you bring that up because when you hear that is staggering.
Staggering.
And so I think when people just automatically assume, well, I don't have it in my family, or if I do, so I'm automatically going to get it.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily the case at all.
Right.
I mean, we really do have the ability to control so much, but it's very frustrating that people aren't necessarily always given the right tools to understand that.
Yes.
And I think America, unfortunately, is far behind other countries as far as, even just what we put in our bodies and the types of food we're putting in our bodies. And when I think about the things I ate as a kid, my parents didn't know any better.
But
Natalie, all the lunch
I hate
meat, all the cereals,
Natalie, I hate to say this, but so my boyfriend and I have been together for about a year now. We met on the podcast, actually.
No way.
A fun fact.
I love that.
But he has a 6 and 8-year-old, and like now I'm seeing this world of being involved in these kids' events and things, and kids are still eating this these days.
Yes.
So we haven't yet learned from what we're seeing and started to adjust. And it's because there is a lot of money to be made by mass production, convenient production, preserving food for as long as possible. And until the consumer habits change, we won't get better.
And I think that's why I'm so grateful that you are doing what you're doing and other people are really spreading that message, because I never fault people for not knowing what they don't know.
Totally.
I mean, when I tell people, like, lunch meat it's a carcinogen.
Yes.
Like, and people look at me like I'm crazy.
But we're trained all day, every day, and programmed to not know. It's harder to know.
Yes.
Yes.
It is. Yeah. And so I never fault anyone. And I think it just takes, unfortunately, either takes someone going through something terrible.
Absolutely.
Or just hearing things like your
Yes.
podcast to
Yep.
be like, whoa, and their eyes are open to it and they start paying attention more.
I always say awareness is the precursor to longer, better living, and it doesn't have to be perfection. When I first started doing workshops, I was like, if you leave this room and go to McDonald's, like, do it guilt-free. Just
Yes.
be aware
Yes.
of what's
Yes.
in what you're putting in your body. And I think it's like that knowledge, and people, fear, I think, too, and concern to change and things like that. And it can be overwhelming in this like health and wellness space. And so
It's
that's why I'm like small little changes, but talking about it and opening up the conversations. Because I will tell you, I sat in rooms for 13 years. And I was like, I'm going to change this industry from the inside. Like, I'm going to be the voice for the consumer. And it's like, better chemistry exists, the better products exist, but every time it was the same. Consumers don't want it. And that's when I'm like, okay, like, I need to educate, because once you see behind the scenes that these formulas for the same brand of products aren't allowed to be used in California, aren't allowed to be used in Europe. They're made with ingredients that are banned in these other places, but they're just readily available here in the Midwest. It becomes
so disheartening.
infuriating.
It's sickening.
It's sickening. And then there's this shift that happened for me, which was empowering when I started to make conscious choices for myself. And so, like, that's really the purpose. And I want to help people not have to go through that hard experience to learn the hard way first.
Exactly.
So, when your mom was diagnosed, how did you navigate that? Were you living here in Cleveland?
I was.
Yeah.
And I automatically thought, do I have to? I mean, my mom was my world, and I have a brother and sister. Girls just intuitively, I think, are a little bit more like through the process. My sister and I, my brother was wonderful, but as girls, you're that nurturer, that caretaker. And I thought to myself, do I have to quit my job? Do I have to move back home? How am I going to do this? But my parents were separated, and I thought to myself, I have to. My sister quit her job, and I thought, I have to continue to make a living for us so that I can help and provide, because who didn't know what our journey was going to be like. So I went through that process, and I will tell you, I am to this day so grateful, going back to my workplace, that they never hesitated once to let me. We ended up bringing my mom up to Cleveland for care, because I mean, she went through the Cleveland Clinic for everything. She felt really good with her doctor, and we love, I mean, I'm still dear friends with her doctor to this day. And we just felt that she felt, without me pushing her, I wanted her to be where she wanted to be. She wanted her care up here.
Yeah.
So
what a blessing
it made
that
it
you were here. And,
yes. And I felt like that was that all part of it? You know, why I moved here, why Cleveland?
Oh, I have the chills.
So I got her an apartment up here. She would do treatment up here. She would still go back to Pittsburgh a lot. But it was a lot of back and forth. And I would go home to Pittsburgh every weekend to spend time with her on the weekends. I was even doing that before she got sick, because she needed me, and I wanted to be there for her. And so I never take what anyone goes through as a caregiver lightly, because that time period of my life was brutal. Because you're watching someone you love so very much, and I know you know, and I'm not getting emotional.
Getting emotional,
because it's the person themselves. You can't even fathom what they're going through in those times. But then as a caregiver, I really felt so many days like I can't keep my head above water. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe some days. I'm like, I can't, trying to make my own personal life work and my relationship at that time work, and needing just support, but not, you feel so alone sometimes, even though you have love around you.
Yes. It's so isolating.
It's such a hard process, and it really takes a toll. So I'm always a reminder to anyone going through, don't feel like you're being selfish. Take time when you need to for yourself, because you have to keep your cup full in order to continue doing what you're doing to help others.
True. I wish someone would have told me that in that time too. So
it's not selfish, and I think that's what we all feel. It's not about me, it's about them. And it is about them, but they need you to be your best you to help them. So,
and when it comes down to it, it's like, what's going to happen is going to happen, and being able to be in a space where you can be like present and enjoying those moments only comes from being able to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we get so caught up in survival mode that it's like, to me, I like look back at that time and it's like a blur. I'm
Yeah.
like, how did I even?
I still don't know.
I
And I still
know.
wonder if that's why I might have developed cancer
Yeah.
faster than I would have, because I do believe stress is a huge factor in it.
100%.
But I mean, I remember going back. I would go when my mom would be in the hospital and have hospital stays. I would sleep with her overnight. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this because they were really sweet to me. They let me use her, like, because she was there in their long term, she'd have a shower. I would shower there, go into work,
Yeah.
come back between shows, stay with her for a little bit, go back again. It was just, I couldn't have done it without the support of my my bosses. So
What a
they
blessing.
enabled me to have that time with my mom.
What a blessing.
Yeah, and so that also speaks to why, again, why would I go anywhere? I mean, it was more
Right.
than
It's
a contract, it
more
was more than a salary, it was the way they treated me.
the humanity behind it, and they
Yeah,
actually, like, value you and your family. That's so rare and beautiful
it is,
in a
it is.
career.
Mhm.
Wow. So, obviously, you said your mom passed away, and were you guys kind of, like, prepared for that moment?
I will
As
say,
much as
as
you can.
hard as it was for a near 3-year fight that she had, I was grateful that I had that time because it allowed me to mentally start to wrap my head around it.
Mhm.
I always feel for those who lose someone in an instant
Yeah.
because you have no time
Yeah.
to wrap your head around that. And
Mhm.
so while it was painful for her, I don't think she would have changed it.
Yeah.
But in the very end, that was nothing can prepare you for that process.
Yeah.
But it's also, I've always thought it's a gift to
Mhm.
be able, your mother brings you into this world. And, and to be there with her when she was leaving, I just think it's an honor. It's such an honor. And so I cherish that as much as it was a horrible experience, it
Yeah.
was a beautiful
Yeah.
experience too.
Yeah. It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
And like you said, what an honor to be there with
Mhm.
her. And, I felt this like overwhelming as much as I was angry that I wasn't going to have her anymore here. It was this blessing of like now she's pain
Mhm.
free and her soul can be
Well,
free.
like you said, your mom's from the chemo, her mind was different.
She wasn't
It
her.
changes you,
Yes.
and my mother wasn't the mother that
Yes.
I knew,
Yes.
and I wanted her to be her again.
Yeah,
So, yes.
exactly. Exactly. It's so true. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it's something that when you lose someone so close to you, it changes you forever.
It does, and there's no way to
And
explain it, but it
our society, especially in the States, in the Western world, is very uncomfortable with. And so
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but it's me, especially having lost both parents. It's like I don't want to forget my parents and I don't want to let their memory go. And I appreciate and find it cathartic to be able to connect with other people who've experienced it. And I think there's such a beautiful thing about, having such deep love that it does bring up these emotions when we think about that loss. It's like because there was so much love there.
it's wild. I just got done before I came here for the podcast. I was at Reserve Care's Walk to Remember, which
Yeah.
is they used to be the Hospice of the Western Reserve.
Yes.
And I literally said that exact thing, in maybe slightly different words, to
Oh,
the community because
yes.
everyone is there grieving, but they get to celebrate
Yes.
the loved ones they've lost, and they get to say their names.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing. How beautiful is it that we have this much grief and this much
Mhm.
pain, that we had
Mhm.
a bond with people that strong? That is
Exactly.
such a gift.
Yes, it's a testament to the love, which is
Mhm.
such a beautiful thing. So thank you for sharing your story about your
Oh, you're
mom. I
welcome.
mean, it's
I
so
love talking about her too.
beautiful.
Like you said, I love
Yes.
talking
Yeah.
about
So
her.
how old were you when she passed?
I was 35 when she passed.
Yeah. Wow. It's like there's never an age where we don't need our mom. And
No.
it's like, even as like you continue to grow and life happens, it's like you always just like,
No, I met a woman this morning who she said, I said, "Who are you walking for today?" And she said, my mom. And I said, "How long ago did you lose her?" And she said, 31 years. And I mean,
mm,
she was a woman probably in her late 50s, early 60s.
yes.
And she still was crying and grieving the same way I was at 7 years,
Yeah.
and the same way someone is
Yes.
3 months after it happens. It
Exactly.
doesn't, that you learn to adapt, I think, or manage it better, but
Yes.
you still, it's there. It never leaves
It
you.
never leaves. And again, it goes back to that love. I think for me, I've learned how to like channel it into
That's a good word, channeling it
yes,
somewhere.
and like feel it and be willing to feel it. I think for
Mhm.
a while I pushed it away.
Because you just didn't want to feel
I
that
didn't
pain.
want to.
Yes.
Exactly. And then it came out in like other ways that were not good,
Mhm.
you know? So the more I've been able to tap into my heart and really sit with it, the more I'm like, okay, I feel this, but it's because I loved something so beautiful.
Yeah.
And what a gift. So, you know, it's like also I think the crazy part about loss is you know, during the time, it's you have this ability to like even though you're in a blur, like be there and focus on that and then, you know, like it or not, like life goes on. And then you
Yeah.
have to learn how to adjust to this new normal. And it's like everything around you goes back to normal, but you're forever changed. And I
Yes.
found that to be such a hard adjustment.
Agreed. And
Yes.
it's that reminder that, yes, your world has totally changed.
Mhm.
And this feeling is just such a powerful feeling, this grief. And yet everyone else around, it's like life just keeps going.
Yeah.
Everyone gets up the next day
Yeah.
and go. And it's not that you want other people to sit there and feel sorry for you every day,
Exactly.
but it's just this feeling of like, wow, it reminds you of how precious our lives are, and that, you
So
know,
true.
you're one little person in this whole, I mean, the world
Yes.
has to keep going. It's a hard thing to accept. Like, wait, it's like you want everyone to just stop and say, let's grieve for Lisa, my
Yes.
mom. But that's not how it works.
No, and I think it's also like you wanna be like, "Do you guys know how finite this is?"
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
you know, like, there's so much bigger. It's like all of a sudden, everything becomes so much, like, illuminated, like, it's means more, every
Mhm.
little thing, even the simple moments.
Absolutely.
So, for me, I spent a lot of time in this, like, fear of, "Oh my gosh, like, I'm so scared that this is gonna happen to me." And so I you know, I was living in California at the time, and my primary care physician, like, you know, looking got a new one. She's, like, looking at my chart, and she's like, "Oh, your mom passed away, and she had breast cancer? Like, we need to do the BRCA test immediately, and if it's positive, like, you have to do a double mastectomy for prevention." And I was like, "What?" I'm like 25. That's so crazy. And so it was like the craziest experience waiting for that test to come back. And when it came back negative, I was like, wow, so this doesn't exist in my family, just like I thought.
Mm.
And maybe there's an opportunity for me to learn more and shift my potential to invite that in. And it
Mhm.
started to become these like small empowered choices. You had shared with me at New Day that when we were chatting briefly that you also tested negative,
I
right?
did. Mhm.
Wow. So
Mhm.
again, goes to show you like this is not a
Mhm.
genetic situation in most cases.
No, yeah, because it's the same for those who don't know ovarian, and they test you, but it's this, they can be very much so linked, breast cancer and
Yes.
ovarian cancer.
Yes.
And so, yeah, they tested me for everything genetically, and I had no signs of anything. You know, I did the full genetic workup.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yet I got breast cancer. And
Mhm.
so
And how far after your mom passed were you diagnosed?
it would have been 4 years because I've been 3 years out.
Wow.
So 4 years
Okay.
after.
Okay.
But I was just like you in the sense of, okay, I always said my mom, her dying is going to mean something for the 3 of us kids more than just losing her. It was, I knew that if I started researching more, taking better care of myself, being able to share that knowledge with my brother and sister, because out of the 3 of us, I'm the one who who worries the most.
Yeah.
And people will call me a hypochondriac at times, but you know what? I'll take it. I don't
Yeah.
care,
Yeah.
because it enabled me. It made me realize I need to be on top of things, because if I can catch something
Yes.
early enough. So I started seeing any test that I could get done, that I was allowed to get done in advance. I started asking, why can't I do something else about making sure I don't develop even breast cancer, let alone
Yeah.
ovarian cancer. And I asked and asked and asked my doctors. And
Mhm.
let me tell you, they were all like, you're fine. You're fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
And my gynecologist, though, thankfully said, why don't you get a risk assessment done? And
And you were like just because you were
just trying
asking
to
the
be
question.
proactive.
Got
Yes,
it.
because I was asking questions.
Yeah.
And I said, what's a risk assessment? I had never been taught that. And so she said, well, they'll just evaluate you. They'll look at your mom's history. They'll look at the density of your tissue. They'll give you an exam. They'll look at any prior, if you had mammograms or anything done before, which I hadn't at that point. I take that back. I did have a mammogram done once before that. But no one had ever told me about the risk assessment. So when I did that, I had an option of, I had one done and I had an option. I was under 40. So, but my doctor let me get the mammograms early. But so I was up to get a mammogram. And when I did the risk assessment, it was so simple. And most women qualify to get an MRI because of the density of their tissue. So I wasn't considered high risk because of my mom. I was considered high risk because of how dense my tissue was.
Interesting.
And most women have dense tissue.
Yes.
So if most women would, and that's why I try to just say, hey, ask your doctors, get this done, because then insurance will cover you to get an MRI.
And so it's your gyno who was able
who
to
suggested
say, like,
it, yes.
your tissue's done? So, like, how
well,
do you
she
know?
sent me to get it done. I went through Fairview Park.
Okay.
And Molly is the wonderful woman's name who helped me do this. And I cannot think of the technical office that I went to, but if anyone ever needs to reach out to me, I can gladly give you the information. I have it somewhere and I can give it to them.
Yeah.
She was the one who said that. And she goes, listen, you're high risk. I was at 21 point something percent.
So you actually
and anything over 20
your
was
breast tissue density checked.
Yes.
Got it.
And that's through
So
just an exam.
Yeah.
And then they used my previous mammogram too.
Got it.
But I think they can tell just by a physical exam too. So that enabled me to get an MRI or mammogram at the time, but insurance would cover an MRI. So I said, well, I have my mammogram. Let's go with the MRI.
Mm-hmm.
And the MRI is what showed. She called me and was floored. She said, I'm just blown away. I never would have thought that this would have come back. Well, with us being worried about we have an area that looks of concern. And then I got a mammogram done after that because they wanted to pinpoint it, and an ultrasound. And the mammogram and ultrasound did not show anything because of the density. So the MRI is the only thing that caught it as early as I caught it. So I am a big proponent. I will tell every woman, if you can get an MRI, get an MRI. I know some doctors will say, once you start doing that, it can show things in your body that may be nothing, but then you're poked and prodded at your whole life. And do you really want that? Well, I do really want that.
Yeah.
I'd rather be poked and prodded at and figure out and some women might not. And I think to each his own. Whatever you feel most comfortable doing, you should do.
But
for me,
you were able to identify this concern.
Yes. And when I ended up getting the double mastectomy. And when
So they found something that was abnormal.
Yes.
And they were like, this could be cancerous?
Yes.
Got it.
So that's why they were trying to do a biopsy through an ultrasound guided biopsy, because it's less invasive than an MRI guided biopsy.
Okay.
But when the ultrasound came back, she was like, honey, I don't think you have cancer. You're okay. It does, because she couldn't find anything. So there's no way to do an ultrasound guided biopsy if they can't see it.
Right.
So I had to go back, get another MRI, and they were able to do a biopsy through that. And I tested positive for stage 0 ductal carcinoma in situ, DCIS. But once they had removed lymph nodes to see if there's any spread of any kind. And when they did my full pathology report, it showed that I had microscopic tumor cells on 2 out of the 3 lymph nodes they took out.
Wow.
Which put me in a weird gray state between stage 0 and stage 1.
Yeah. And
the team at the clinic held a discussion about my specific case, and they came to the decision that they wanted me to be on tamoxifen, which would be something that would hopefully block any breast cancer cells from continuing to develop, because mine was estrogen positive. And so they don't want estrogen to leach onto those tumor cells and continue to help them grow. So
totally.
I started taking that, and I've been taking that for 3 years now. But I had another doctor tell me, I got a second opinion, and they said, well, we don't think you need to be on it based on what we know. So again, I think you have to end up doing what feels best for you.
Right. And
but it's overwhelming because, the doctors all have their opinions too. And that's unfortunate. The thing is, it's everyone's opinions. It's not, they don't know for with 100% certainty anything. So you just have to do what feels most comfortable for you. Some women would have maybe done a lumpectomy. They wouldn't have got their other side done. I've had a lot of women say, why did you do a double mastectomy? I felt most comfortable doing that. So
And
that's
I
the way
think
I
it
did
makes
it.
sense because it's like, again, had I tested positive for the BRCA gene test or any woman who has breast cancer in their family, like that is the recommended next step is to get a double
Hmm.
mastectomy to prevent the opportunity for cancer to become prevalent in the breast tissue. So when you started to take the
Tamoxifen or the pill.
yes, that they also recommended the double mastectomy?
So I did the double mastectomy first.
Okay.
I ended up then after my second surgery, then they started the tamoxifen.
Okay.
So my doctor recommended it. My best friend had told me she is an oncologist and had said, this is what I would do if I was you because of our age and we're
Yeah.
not older in life and I still have she said I would just and I just felt most comfortable with it.
Mhm.
And so, and it wasn't as scary of a process as I thought it would be.
Okay.
For me, it was a no-brainer
Mm.
to just live in my faith and say, I'm gonna be fine. And
Yeah.
I knew I had my mom watching over me too.
And I think it's like a powerful thing to make a decision for yourself and then trust it and
Hmm.
trust God and like
Yes.
let whatever's going to happen
Hmm.
because it is oftentimes this like fear that
Sure.
manifests in disease itself,
Yes.
so or things going wrong. It's almost like you're creating that reality of something bad happening if that's all you're thinking about. And you've got whatever decision that you make, trust yourself enough to make
Yes.
it and then
Hmm.
proceed forwards with faith. So that is so beautiful. And is it a situation where you had to like take a few weeks off work? Like,
I jumped right back into it because I just wanted normalcy in my life again.
yeah.
So I was supposed to take a month off, I think. I took 2 weeks, but I wasn't allowed to do certain things.
Yeah.
So I was definitely doing it at a different pace. But for me, it was just getting back to a sense of what I felt was normal to me.
And like routine.
But again, that's what felt good for me. And I
Mhm.
think everyone is in their own journey and you have
Yes.
to take care of yourself. Whatever you feel you need to do, you need to do that.
Yeah, every body, mind is
It's
different.
different.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
true. So, first off, I think it's incredible this advocacy and experience around early detection. We talk so much about prevention, and I talk about, lifestyle in a way that you can prevent your toxin load from overflowing, which then can lead to cancer.
Hmm.
But the fact is, whether it's stress or ingredients or body, mind, soul, like we have so much opportunity in this modern world to develop this disease. And not a lot of people talk about this, more medical way of early detection and saying, like, being that advocate for yourself. And again, going back to the traditional medical system is built on science, but you have to advocate for yourself. Like, you
You
can't
have
and,
to.
like, that's what I think when I look back with my parents is, like, what I learned the most was, like, just blindly following the one perspective that you get from the one doctor can be dangerous.
Yes.
And taking that in and getting multiple insights and doing some research and looking at different resources and then making an
So important.
informed decision is such a powerful thing. Especially when in both of our families' cases, right? Like, it was the treatment in a lot of
Hmm.
cases that actually harmed the
Yes.
person. So it's like,
Yes.
had you not advocated for yourself, that cancer would have eventually, even say you caught it at stage 1.
Mm.
What's crazy is there's very little change when it comes to treatment given depending on the stage
Correct.
in your case, right? Like, you would have gotten to a point where it was like, that would be the option.
Yeah.
And instead, you're like, I'm going to do this hard thing now to try to prevent, what I saw my mom go through. So
And I just think, yeah,
powerful.
as long as we can take care of our bodies the best we can. I mean, and I know every situation is different. I have a good friend of mine whose mom had breast cancer probably now 25 plus years ago, went through radiation. I can't remember if she had gone through chemo, but is fine.
Yeah.
And maybe that's your outcome.
Yeah.
But for others, it can affect you
It
very
can be
negatively.
harsh. And again, like we said, if you don't have the tools and your body isn't ready and able to respond to it, there's this influencer. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Her name's Bridget Ball.
Stop. need to meet her at some point. I adore
I know.
her.
I know. Her story is so powerful.
Oh,
I was following her, like, 'cause I love The Bar, her clothing line.
I didn't know about that. I just started following her because of the breast cancer journey. And
Yes.
here you have a woman who literally has everything any woman could ever dream of.
Yeah.
You know, she was living on top of the world.
Yeah.
And then she got that diagnosis. And a little bit part of me just loved, she's from Pittsburgh as well. And I was like, oh, I
Yes,
just
that's
love
so
that about her
true. Yeah.
too. But it just shows you cancer it doesn't care who you
No,
are
it
and what you're
doesn't.
going through. And I think, well, if you would have just followed her beforehand, people might have had different ideas about who she was
Yeah.
or been envious and jealous of
Mhm.
her and just been like, oh, she's this beautiful girl who just has everything. And she was so humbled by it and so vulnerable to share her journey
Yes.
that, I mean, anyone who's followed her and
Is
is on
moved.
her team, is
Yes.
on her team supporting her
Yes.
100% of the way.
Yes.
I think it's so cool that she did what she did.
And shared it. And I
Mhm.
think it was, like, really powerful to see, like, how she did survive it.
Yeah.
And she went through the traditional approach, but it was not easy.
It was hell for her.
It
I
was
mean,
hell, and it is for anyone. It's
yes.
possible to survive it for sure.
Absolutely.
But it's like, we oftentimes, I don't think, see the behind the scenes of how difficult the treatment can actually be. And so I just am so inspired by the way she was able to share. And so it just kind of goes to show you cancer, like, takes no precedence on who or what.
Mm-mm.
And you can be the healthiest, you can be the, most fit, you can eat clean, and you're still potentially subject to disease from this environment that we live in. And I think as women who are so, I think we're extra vulnerable in a way.
Mhm.
And I think there's a few different things. For me personally, it's like I kind of got like OCD about the physical side of things. And of course, like being behind the scenes and ingredients, I was like, holy shit, like this is crazy. And no wonder we're all getting cancer.
Yeah.
And so I was like so crazy about like everything I was putting in my body, not realizing that, meanwhile, I'm not like processing this grief emotionally whatsoever. I'm like numbing myself completely. I'm hustling so hard in my career, putting it before absolutely everything in my life,
Mhm.
traveling, running myself down, not taking care of myself stress wise.
Yep.
And I'm like, I had this like epiphany where I'm like, I can be like the quote unquote healthiest person, but if I don't do something about this nervous system soon,
Yep.
I'm going to have the same outcome.
Yes.
And so I really want to know for you, because you are a career high achiever, busy woman. Like, how did not only your mom's experience, but then your experience really change the way that you're nurturing your own routines, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, to stay humble and grounded through this process?
Yeah. I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
For sure. That's the truth. Because I do think that if you don't take care of yourself in all ways, I think we neglect the nervous
Yes.
system so
Yes.
much. I'm really still working on it because I did the same as you, where I started thinking, okay, what am I putting in my body? Which
Mhm.
is a big deal and
Mhm.
very important. But my sister will say to me, it doesn't matter if you have that glass of, because I was like, I'm not drinking alcohol anymore.
Mhm.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing, it doesn't matter if you have a glass of champagne if you're sitting here stressed or living an unhealthy lifestyle because of your nerves and how you're
100%.
handling your life.
Yes,
And I was like,
agreed.
oh my gosh, it's so true.
It's so true.
And it's easier said than done for people to not, even if you've been through and you're in the process of trying to beat cancer, or you've been there, done it now, and you're on the other side of it. It's very hard not to worry about
Mhm.
things, I
Mhm.
think. It is so true. And doctors, even Western medicine doctors, will say your mindset has so much to do with your outcome and your
It's
success.
so true.
It's half and half, basically.
Mhm.
So that it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I do think finding whatever helps you to have peace
Yeah.
and calm that nervous system
Mhm.
is imperative.
Yeah. What are some of the things that you do on like a daily basis to try to remain calm and aligned.
I will do things like every morning now, I go outside and I
Yeah.
ground. Now in the
So
wintertime,
powerful.
the wintertime
I
is a little
know,
more
it's tough.
difficult, and I still think I'm investing in one of those PEMF mats.
Yeah, it's worth it for the Cleveland winters.
But truly, when you hear studies of just how being
Yes.
on grass or in sand, just the earth, how your cells pull apart and work the way they're supposed to versus and I'm not a doctor. I'm not even going to try to get into it, but I just know that it's healthy for your cells
It is.
to do this. And natural sunlight in the morning.
Yep.
So I try to get up and just look at the sun a little bit before it's, it's too early in the early morning hours.
Both things that are free.
Yes, it's free. Exercising, I do feel I feel like $1,000,000 when I'm done with working out.
Yeah, I always say,
and I'm
like,
still
I
working on that.
exercise for mental more than I do physical. Like, that's just, like, the byproduct. But for my, like, mindset, my nervous system, like, that's where movement is so powerful for me.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I don't really, like, again, watching, and I get excited to go to the grocery store more than I ever did before because I really pay attention to the food I pick out, the ingredients that are in certain things. I find it like a treasure hunt almost to find like cool stuff and neat stuff. And it is I mean, like, really, you have to work through to find the good stuff.
Definitely.
But I still think I'm working on that. I haven't gone into journaling and I really wish I would. I think about it often, but there's so many things that people can do. I think you just find what works for you.
Yeah.
And I still need to be doing more. I'm a work in progress for sure.
And
it's like 3 years, but I'm a work in progress.
Little things go such a long way though. And I think it's like someone like yourself who does have these really busy weeks and you're exerting a lot of energy out. It's like being able to pour back into your own cup in whatever way that works for you. And if that's like your small morning routine of stepping outside and like taking a moment with higher power and your feet on the earth, such a long way. Like that's completely resetting your body to then be able to give without becoming depleted.
I agree.
And as women, like, we want to give naturally. And so it's so easy for us to like overgive to this point of like being detrimental to our bodies and minds. So it's such a powerful thing. And also I think like sharing in the resources, because you might not realize like what could work for you or help you if you don't know. I think that's a big reason of why, and it goes back to awareness and all things, why I'm so inspired by what Jen from Root Cause is putting on with the HEAL conference, now the Thrive conference. I missed the HEAL conference because I was actually in another wellness conference in Vegas.
Oh, see, you're living it.
You're bummed, and I was like watching from afar. I'm like, why are these on the same weekend? But so incredible. And like that to me is like the future of health. It's as community coming together, sharing ideas, sharing experiences, engaging in healthy practice together so that, when you go back to your own house, you can say like, okay, like this works for me. Or when something comes up, like here's a resource that I could have. So what inspired you to MC this event and to be such an integral part of putting this on alongside Jen?
Again, I think it just, when she said she was doing this, and she said, would you like to be my MC? I'm going to do a few of these throughout the year. I didn't even hesitate because it just is in line with everything that I have been trying to stand for. It's just another way to get a message out there to this time just women, but to people in general, because the more she's doing, it's going to be men and women always, to help them, to give them the tools they need. Because what I love about it becomes an environment that is so much less overwhelming than because the wellness space can be very overwhelming when you're trying to learn things
100%.
and you'll hear one thing from one person, then you get another opinion from someone else and you go, I don't know what to do.
It's so true.
So these conferences and or events allow people to just hear from speakers like yourself. We're so excited that you're going to be speaking at this event. I'm so pumped for you to be there. But it allows you to, she'll have notebooks again for everyone and paper and a pen ready to go so you can write things down and you have tangible things that you can take home and implement. And they'll be, again, like you're saying, small steps, baby steps, because you don't have to do everything all at once.
Exactly.
Even changing one little thing can make the world of a difference.
It's so true. So
when she asked, I was like, this is everything that I want to do to help people. And I'm so glad that she had this idea.
It's so cool and it's so powerful.
There's nothing like it in Cleveland. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it in Cleveland. That for me was the most surprising thing when I moved to
Right?
California is I was like, the access to resources and community around health and wellness is everywhere. And here in Cleveland, it's harder to find, but we all want to heal together.
Mhm.
You know, it's like not for lack of wanting. So for someone to actually put the time and energy to create the space is so cool. And, you know, you with your platform to be able to invite the area to the space, so powerful. And like we said, you know, women and men are different. Every body is different. That's what I
Mhm.
love about the integrative health. I'm actually in my school to be an integrative health practitioner.
I love this for
After Drew
you.
came on, I'm
I'm
like,
gonna
I don't even know if I'm ever going to do anything with it, but I just like need to learn this.
That's how I feel too,
Yes.
because I think that you have to be your own advocate. And if you can, I mean, I'm a fraction of my knowledge is a fraction of what you or Jen has, but I just feel like the more I can learn, the more I can continue to help others
It's
too.
so true. And it's like, and help myself, you know,
Mhm.
because again, like knowledge is power. But everybody is different. We're all bio individuals, but kind of goes back to like some of these differences with traditional medicine. You know, like historically, all of the training, all of the studies has been mostly around men. And so creating this space that's just women focused for this next event, that's called Thrive, I think is so cool because it's all going to be about like women and what we're dealing with and hormones and ways that
Yes.
we can reduce our toxin load when we all have, you know, very different bodies, but really similar ways just inherently as a gender that we show up in the world.
So true.
Connecting with like minds, like building friendships. So cool. So honored to be part of it.
We are thrilled that you're going to be there. I mean, Jen's going to be speaking as well. We also have, I mean, heart disease is the number one killer of women still. Forget
Yeah.
cancer, heart disease. And so, all of the things, what I love about this kind of conference is all of the things that you're learning can help in various facets of your health journey. It's
Mhm.
not just cancer prevention. Like what you're
Totally.
doing is preventative for so many things. And so
Absolutely.
these speakers that are going to be speaking, it's helping you in so many areas because if you have a great gut, it's going to help everything else. You know, it's in your heart health. It's just so important. There's tests that we can be doing that I'd have high lipoprotein little a, which most people, when I say that, are like, what is that? We should all be getting tested for that. And I don't know why. It's becoming more and more of a thing now. I think they're
Right.
doing it,
Right.
but it's a genetic condition. And if
Yes.
you have that, you are far more susceptible to getting heart disease.
Yes. But again, you have to be your own advocate. And how can you if you don't have the awareness?
Yes. So
Yeah.
you'll learn things like that. I
Yeah.
mean, you'll learn what you should be doing. One of the topics is going to be foods that will reverse aging
Love
in your
it.
life and also things that would accelerate it and what we
Yes.
want to stay away from.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun day because we start the day with a Pilates class in the morning with
Yes.
Callie's Pilates.
Awesome.
And then these vendors are going to be there. Listen, shopping is good for the soul too. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of wellness vendors that are going to be there, but she listened to feedback from the last one and a lot of people wanted experiences.
Yeah.
And so, they're going to there's a girl that's going to be there that's doing non-toxic manicures.
Love
There's going to
it.
be someone teaching you how to make sourdough bread because we know sourdough bread is much better for our gut health than all the other breads that are out there. So there will be experience stations. There's countless different vendors that are going to be there too. So you can do some shopping in the morning. Then we'll have a lunch that is going to be extremely healthy.
Yeah.
Everything what we talk about, we got to preach and do what we, walk the talk.
Exactly.
And then the speakers will be so you and the rest of our speakers will be in the afternoon. So I think we start at 8. It'll be done by about 2:30, 3 o'clock at the latest.
Very cool. I love the experiential piece of it. I think, again, it goes such a long way. Like when you hear other stories, when you see how it's done, when you engage with it, you get to feel how it makes your body feel
Mhm.
and the difference and the way that you can actually apply it to your life. I'm also going to be not only speaking, which I'm so honored about, ways that you can, add to your
You're
to
going to
your
be a vendor
life,
too.
but I'm going to be a vendor and I'm also doing like pop-up podcasts.
I heard about this. This
Yeah.
is so cool. So you're going to be doing the podcast from
So
the event.
I'm going to set it up and I'm going to have like a couple different people who have stories of their own of, that they've overcome or, some of the vendors that have some really interesting challenges that got them there. Again, this like real experience that helps us all grow to hopefully mitigate others having to go through that hard thing themselves, but learn from someone else's.
Sure.
And I think that will add like such a cool, personable part of this event that we can share after and that can live on, which will be super unique. So I'm so excited and honored.
It's going to be such a fun day.
Such a fun day.
They have the most beautiful patio area that we're doing the whole morning on. That it's at Encore in Strongsville, Encore Event Center, and it's just going to be fabulous. We have a backup plan in case it would rain.
Yes, but
we're still doing the Pilates, still doing the vendors, but then lunch and the speakers will be inside because it might get hot. It's a hot July day, so it might get hot. So we'll go inside for that. But it's going to be it's just going to be a community of women coming together, learning, and I can't. Giving my time to this means the world to me.
Yeah,
it really does, because I just feel like we're going to help people.
Yeah. It's
that's
so
what
true.
I wanna do.
And build community around wanting to live longer and better. Like, so powerful. So I am so excited because Jen offered our listeners for 1 week. So this episode is airing June 26th.
Okay.
So starting June 26th for 1 week, our listeners of the show can get their ticket to the Thrive event for 20% off with code CHEEKY.
I love that.
I love it because there are a lot of people who want to come. Now you have a code, you have an opportunity to get a discount. It will be worth every penny to be able to have access to this in all one space. My favorite thing about any event that I've ever done or been a part of when it's intentional like this is over time I've seen my community go from people that I knew as individuals to becoming friends and connected with one another in like a mind aspect. And I'm like, it's such a cool thing to build new relationships and expand your network. And that is priceless.
That's the thing. You may meet someone there that either has a vendor booth or someone who's just sitting next to you at the table when you're eating lunch, and you connect with them in a way you didn't even think would be possible. I mean, when I think about all you're getting for the day, from a fun class in the morning to the knowledge from all these speakers to a lunch. I think she even has some people who are donating light bites for breakfast and some smoothies that are really good from Lulo. Oh, if you've never had a Lulo smoothie, they're downtown Cleveland. They're unbelievable. Just fresh fruit, exotic fruits that you can't find anywhere else. And all, again, she's really thought about every vendor that's going to be there to make sure that it represents what she stands for, what she wants this whole wellness space to be about. So the experiences will be amazing. And people are still signing up for this. So we still are going to have more experience stations. I know I'm probably forgetting some of the other ones right now that are considered experience stations, but Jen will have mats there. I think the PEMF mats to lay on or other things to show people what they can do.
Very cool.
Simple things you can do to just help your health overall.
Yeah, and I know there are some, vendors or small businesses that I'm connected with in the raw community. So if anyone feels like this could be a cool opportunity to showcase your business as a vendor, definitely reach out to Jen at Root Cause or Natalie.
Yeah, you can also go to healconference.org.
Got it.
So that's the website, healconference.org. Tickets are available there. You can ask Jen questions there. I believe she has her email link there, so you can ask her questions. You can also message her at the Heal Conference CLE on Instagram.
Very cool.
She's real quick to getting back to people on that. So the Heal Conference CLE there as well.
Amazing. Okay, so you've shared so many important, powerful things with us today. I'm going to end with doing like a couple little cheeky questions.
Okay.
Just to get to know you a little bit better. And because I'm so fascinated with people's lifestyle and routine.
Okay. Sounds good.
Are you a morning or evening person?
Oh, I used to say evenings, but now I think I'm a morning person.
Like, what time's your day start?
Okay. Now I say that and I'm like, well, it's not that early. Because I don't have to be at work until 9:30. So I normally get up, it's between 6:30 and 7.
Love that, with sunrise.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people get up a lot earlier than that. But
I think it's also about like, when's your energy most productive?
And I think that's when it is in the morning for me.
Like I've learned to love mornings, but I'm a night owl by trade.
Yeah.
So I have to like force myself to go to bed earlier, like do a whole thing.
I get it.
What's your workout of choice?
Ooh. Well, right now I'm realizing, because I'm 42, so I'm realizing the importance of heavy weights. Yes. And so I am really starting to try to get on a regimen of just doing more weight bearing exercise. I used to be more like, oh, if I just get on a treadmill and walk at a 12% incline. I'm realizing that basically the things I did in my 20s and 30s are not going to work now.
Totally.
And so we have someone who's for the conference that's going to be talking about how important heavy weight is and as far as longevity goes.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
So I would say that would be it, but I love a good Pilates class too.
Love a good Pilates class. What is one supplement that you take day to day that you can't live without?
Okay. And I would recommend this to everybody. Vitamin D. I take
it.
a vitamin D3 plus K2 because the K2 helps it to get into your
No point in
bloodstream
taking
the right
vitamin D
way.
without the K2.
You need the K2. I will take that for the rest of my life. That was the one supplement that when I went through everything, I said to my doctors, like, what can I do? What can I do? And they said, everyone who has been diagnosed with cancer has low vitamin D levels. So I take that religiously. I take other ones that I swear by too. I will highly recommend a good vitamin. An omega-3 fish oil. There's a lot out there on the market. You got to get a good quality one and message me because I can always tell you the one. I don't want to seem like I'm endorsing something in particular, but I will gladly tell you the ones I take. So I also take that too. And I would recommend people take a good quality omega-3.
I'm a big fan of both. The omega-3s are one that I've like went back and forth with like maybe making one because there's a lot of shit on the market.
They can go rancid before they're even capsulized.
Yes. And it's like, again, the sourcing, like what fish is it coming from?
I just think it's important to always look when you're buying products, like make sure they're third party tested, make sure.
And like just read about the how.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
very important.
But vitamin D, so important. I actually, like am probably a little more dialed in just owning a supplement company, But I got my blood work done recently, and the one thing that I was low in was vitamin D. And so it's so common for so many of us.
Especially this area.
Yeah, especially this area. And I'm like, even in summer. So it's like, that's one thing that I think is really incredible and very much linked to disease prevention.
Yeah, exactly. If you look up what it does and how it benefits you, it's far more than just like, oh, helping my bones to be stronger.
Yes.
It's really imperative.
Yeah. Is there anything spiritual wise that you do somewhat consistently for practice in order to like tap back into your higher power? Or is there, even if it's not like every day, something that always helps you feel more grounded?
I just wake up and I thank God every day for my health.
Yes.
First and foremost.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that I get to walk on this earth another day and live a healthy life is such a blessing. And I do that. And then my mom, she got me this bracelet before she passed away. And she always said, rub this every morning and remember that I'm with you. So I will also rub my bracelet every morning.
That's amazing.
To just feel connected to her again too. But it's just that simple gratitude.
Yes.
Every day. Life is so precious and I never will ever take it for granted again.
So beautiful. Gratitude is the most powerful practice that we can do. If there's nothing else you do or change in your life from a health standpoint, but you practice gratitude every single day, you will change your life.
It's so true.
And it's so free.
It changes your mindset totally. Yes.
So
and it's free. Exactly.
Free. What is one guilty pleasure? Every now and again.
Are we talking food
anything, like anything?
I mean, I have several. So reality TV.
I feel you, girl. It's like, it sucks us in.
I will tell you, it does something to calm me down.
I know, because you can like check out from the
from the craziness of your life.
Yeah.
It just soothes me.
I agree.
When I am really stressed, I will put on a good.
Are we like a Bravo girl?
I'm a Bravo girl all the way.
Yes.
It does something. It really calms my nervous system.
I know. I feel it.
So in that case, I'm like, well, it's fine. Yes.
So I feel it. I love it. And then lastly, like, are there any, I know you do a lot of work with charities and things like that. Is there any organizations from a early detection standpoint that you're working with, or any resources that maybe you want to like plug for anyone who's trying to like help support that mission or initiative?
So I work with so many. And I'm trying to think from a preventative standpoint. A lot of the things they do are cancer driven once people have had it.
Yeah.
I would say the single most important thing would be ask your doctor too about where you can get a risk assessment done. Just do that, ladies.
Yeah,
please, for yourself, do that. That is so, I've had so many women say to me, I got it done and it saved my life. And that, like, because what a lot of people would ask me in the beginning, why are you being so vocal about this? And you're not really vocal about other things in your personal life. So why are you so vocal about this? Because I feel like I can save a life. And I know I'm not a
Yes.
doctor, but I can help someone to realize the importance of this. So why wouldn't I do that? So,
So powerful.
but gosh, yes, there's so many. Case Comprehensive Cancer Center and the case researchers are the fact that we have these entities in our backyard. I do work with both of them, and I would highly recommend supporting them because I mean, like some of these researchers, Mitch Drum, they will research diseases that are rare in children. You know, like they'll do the things that that aren't being done because there's not enough money to do it.
Yes, very
So
cool.
things like that, I think, are so important to get behind. And the Case Comprehensive Cancer Center is unbelievable.
Amazing. So
Research
for
they do.
people who maybe aren't already following you, where can they find you and
Oh, that's
follow
so
your
sweet.
journey?
So I'm on Instagram, Natalie Herbick. I'm on Facebook as well at Natalie Herbick. I feel old. I don't really do the TikTok thing. I mean, I'm on there, but I don't utilize
I'm right
it.
there with you, girl. I can't do it. I
And-
try, and I'm just like, I like lose hours of my life, and then I'm like,
Yes.
I haven't
Yes.
gotten into it. I'm more of an Instagram girl.
I maybe it's just I don't know, but
Yeah.
it just works for me. And I really try. I know I miss things sometimes, but I really try to sift through to find questions people have. And I've met women that they're like, you're really going to just call me right now? I'm like, yeah, give me your phone number. Let's
Yeah.
talk. Because if I can do that little bit to help someone, I'm all in. So
Amazing. And
reach
then
out to me.
New Day Cleveland airs
Yes,
daily.
it airs daily 10 until 12 every day. We are live Tuesday through Friday. Mondays are tape shows. But those are our travel shows or local travel that we do. And then I do the 4 o'clock news in the afternoon if you want to watch some news as well. I know, yeah, people say they love or hate the news, right? As far as, but I still think it's important local information that we're giving to people.
Absolutely. Well, Natalie, I can't thank you enough for coming
my
on the
honor.
show, for opening up and having such a beautiful conversation with me, for just your heart in general. We are lucky here in Cleveland to have you.
That's so sweet. And the feeling is mutual. And I just feel like we are kindred spirits and
Yes.
we've gone through some really similar things and have the same mindset about things. So
Yes.
I just want to continue supporting wonderful people like you who
Yes.
are doing good. I love your collagen, by the way.
Amazing.
People would tell me when I got it after the show, they said, "Oh my gosh, wait until you see your nail growth. Wait until you see."
It is crazy.
People just they weren't getting they were
know.
just giving you cold endorsements because they just loved it so much.
I know. I always say, I'm like, just use it every day for 4 weeks and see the difference, and then you'll know.
Yes. It's fun. I love that it's things that actually happen. You really see results.
You really see results, which is why I love it. And I'm like, imagine what it's doing internally if it's doing that much on the external. No, thank you so much. So if you guys want to follow along with the Cheeky journey at TheCheekyClean, you can also follow the Raw the Podcast page at Raw the Pod. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe at YouTube, Apple, and Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please join us at the Thrive Conference.
Yes.
We'd love to meet you. July 11th. We have the link below, code Cheeky for 20% off for 1 week only. Natalie, thank you for helping us learn more, live better, and connect deeper together.
It's my honor. Thank you so
guys.
much. Bye.